Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you to this edition of News You Can Use. I'm your host, Thera Martin Milling, and I am glad to be here. Oh, do we have a packed show today. We're going to hear from City Councilman Derek Green first. A little bit later on, as we turn the page, we're going to hear from Felicia Harris. She is the chairperson of the Philadelphia Mayor's Commission on Women. And then we will also hear from Veronica Norris, and she's here to represent an organization called Power, P-O-W-E-R. This is News You Can Use. We'll be back in just a moment. We are back now as we continue with our program. This is News You Can Use. And if you just turned your television set on, I gave a little teaser. Today on our program, in our first segment, we're talking with Councilman Derek Green. He's a city councilman at large. And then when we turn the page, we'll hear from Felicia Harris. And boy, is she a young dynamo in the city of Philadelphia, a millennial, as they say. And then in our last segment for today's program, we'll talk with Veronica Norris. And she is a community activist extraordinaire representing today on behalf of an organization called Power. But let us start with Councilman Derek Green. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Thera. It's a pleasure to be here with your viewers and talk about news you can use.
Yes, and I want to give a shout out to your PR young lady. She is dynamite, and from the moment she shot me an email, she and I were just connecting to make this happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, Misha keeps me on the go, doing a lot of different interviews, both television and radio, and really allow us to provide news you can use for all the constituents for the city of Philadelphia.
Well, from the day you were confirmed as the winner, as a council person at large here in Philadelphia, you hit the ground running, Derek Green. You have been doing so much, getting so much work done.
Thank you very much. I mean, I learned from my former boss and mentor, Councilman Marion Tasco, and although I worked for a district council person in the 9th Council District, as an at-large council person, you don't have one specific area of the city, the whole city. So people ask me, well, what's your district? I said, the entire city.
Yes.
So I often try to travel all over the city, from Southwest Philadelphia and King Sessing, or other parts of West Philadelphia, to Manary, Germantown, to Alany, Overbrook, Northeast, Center City, and really try to get out of City Hall as much as possible to really touch and feel people all around the city of Philadelphia and see what's happening around our great city.
Well, I'm sure there's any number of hot button issues that we could talk about, and we'll never get to all of them in one show, even if it was just you and I. However, I did want to hear a little bit about the city budget hearings because they get underway. We're taping this show on a Monday. This show will start airing tomorrow night on a Tuesday, which would be on March the 28th. And it's going to go for a whole week. But give our viewing audience a sense of the budget hearings and how important is that, and what can people do to plug in?
Well, the budget hearings are very important. So Mayor Kenny gave his budget address on March 2nd. And so we'll be starting the budget hearings towards the end of March, and it will continue throughout April and early part of May. And during the budget hearings, it gives an opportunity for city council members to listen to the various departments, talk about what they plan to do in the upcoming fiscal year. Towards the end of the budget process, we also have an opportunity for constituents to come in and testify regarding the budget, both for the city budget as well as the school district budget. So I encourage anyone to watch the budget hearings, and if they have issues and questions and concerns, please reach out to council members so your voice can be heard.
Okay, so now help us to understand, with the budget hearings, the first part of it, which officially will start on Tuesday, March 28th.
Correct.
The first couple of weeks of the budget hearings, it's really where we hear from elected officials, council people, and other city department leaders, and then the public, the residents of the city who may want to express concerns or ask questions or applaud something good that they think the council people are doing. They will come towards the end.
That's correct. So we normally start with a 5-year plan where we have the administration, generally the finance director, the mayor's chief of staff, and other city officials talk about the city budget as a whole. And then we go through individual departments, so public property, licenses and inspections, revenue. They'll each give their own budget testimony in city council. Okay. Toward the end of the budget process, that's when we have what's called the public testimony sessions. And that's when general people from the public can come and testify regarding any aspect of the budget that they have issues and concerns about.
Okay. And so when the public comes to testify, get them ready now, okay. do they need to have a typed statement all ready to go so that they can not only read it, but hand out copies to elected officials who are there listening?
Yes, I generally suggest to most people, put together a handwritten testimony. If typewritten was actually the best, and make copies of that testimony. That way you can have the testimony provided to all the council members so they can read the testimony as you're speaking. Now, sometimes when we have public testimony, we have a number of people that want to testify.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to have people summarize their testimony. So if you have, if it's too long, that's why if you have it in a written form, you can provide that copy to the council members so they can read it and look at your comments as you're speaking.
Okay, okay. All right, so now I want to go back to the budget piece for just a moment. And there's a lot of great concern, not only in our city, but across America, as we watch our new president of the United States, the 45th president, Mr. Donald Trump. It seems that in his budget, there's so many things that he put the knife to. He slashed so much, which has me shaking in my boots. I'm a part of a nonprofit organization. We exist largely on grants and the graces of the government. But it's not about Thera that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the people that we serve. We have young people. We've got after-school programs. I'm told all of that's under threat of disappearing with this current president. So help me understand. We can plan all we want in Philly and say, this is our budget. We proclaim this. But is it that the president can knock out everything that we plan?
Well, just like the mayor at a local level presents a budget and then council as a legislative branch decides what they're going to pass, the same thing happens at the federal level. So President Trump introduced his initial budget proposal, and you are correct. Some of the concerns we have for that initial budget proposal is a 54% increase in defense spending. I'm sorry, $54 billion increase for defense, which you have to make up that difference. And so the president does not want to raise taxes, but to make up that increase of defense spending, you got to bring that money from somewhere. So some of the major cuts that President Trump is talking about is eliminating community development block grant funding. And so for people in the city of Philadelphia who have received services from housing counseling agencies that come through the city, a lot of those funds come through the community development block grant. And a lot of other initiatives that we use that CDBG or community development block grant dollars for. And if this budget as introduced is passed, then we would not have that funding.
So when you talk about housing, we're talking about the foreclosure, emergency foreclosure programs that help lift people up and help them save their houses. All of that could possibly go if Donald Trump were to have his way.
Absolutely, and so you have a lot of different organizations like our community development corporations. There was a recent report, and we had hearings in City Council about the Philadelphia eviction crisis and concerns about how people are getting evicted. Well, a lot of those agencies that provide those services, they don't get funds from a lot of different sources. They get a lot of their funds from the Community Development Block Grant, which is federal dollars coming through HUD. And if the president has his way, those funds will be cut. Now, the good thing is that we have a legislative branch, just like we have here at the local, being City Council. At a federal level, we have a Congress, both our United States House of Representatives and our senators. And so one of the things we need to make sure is that we advocate to them, do not support the budget as presented by President Trump.
That's what I'm talking about. If people want to be in touch with you, if they want to know what Derek Green has going on, because I know you do a lot of events, a lot of programs all over the city, City Council Person at Large, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, some of the best ways to reach me is that you can go to Councilman-Derek Green, which is on Facebook. If you want to reach me on Instagram, it's Councilman Derek. Twitter is also Councilman Derek. You can also reach me in the old school way through my phone number, office number, 215-686-3450. Also, I can be reached by email at Derek, D-E-R-E-K, .green like the color at phila.gov.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for you to come back again. Next time, I really want to dedicate some time to talk about autism. You have a beautiful, awesome, outstanding son, and you and your wife understand this autism issue.
Every day.
So you got to come back and talk about that at another time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Now, you be safe as you head off to your next stop, okay?
All right.
All right, we're going to keep it moving. When we come back, Ms. Felicia Harris, Millennium Extraordinaire. She is the chair of the Philadelphia Mayor's Commission on Women. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. until this threat can be contained. We must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers.
Dude!
They're not looking out for you.
Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with strong, healthy bones.
A prayer to St. Clair, the patron saint of television.
Oh, wondrous St. Clair, I ask that you bless my television with good reception and good color balance.
I also ask for your assistance in choosing quality programs that provide me with endless hours of enlightening entertainment.
Amen.
Your prayers have been answered.
You're watching LaSalle TV.
You know you watch.
And we are back as we continue with this edition of News You Can Use. And I am so excited. I get to shine the spotlight on a young lady that I am so very proud of. Haven't known her that long, but I've been hearing the name for like 2 years. And here she is, the chairwoman of the Philadelphia Mayor's Commission for Women. Felicia, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we got the memo for each other. It's Black and Red Day, right?
I know.
You look beautiful, sis.
Thank you.
Yes, but anyway, so there are people who don't even have a clue. They don't even know that there is a Mayor's Commission for Women. I know there used to be, because when I first learned of the group, Barbara Daniel Cox was the executive director, and she is one of my mentors, one of my life mentors. And so I remember that from the good old days, and they used to do big events at the Bourse Building downtown, right near KYW. And then it went away for a while, but I'm so glad that under this mayor, Mr. Jim Kenney, who happens to be a graduate of LaSalle University, he had the foresight and understanding that we women are important, and we need that commission.
Yes, so I actually will give credit to Councilwoman Marion B. Tasco and Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown, because they came together. And this was before Mayor Kenney was elected, and said that this commission needs to be a permanent commission. It needs to be a permanent commission. So what they did was they proposed that it go on the ballot for one of the elections, take it to the voters, ask the voters if they wanted to be a permanent commission, and that's what happened in 2015. And the voters said yes. This needs to be a permanent commission, not under executive order, but under the Home Rule Charter. So effective January 1, 2016, we became a permanent commission with the full support of Mayor Kenney's office. Many of the commissioners, we weren't really appointed until April, because as you can imagine, the new administration came in, and it just became a new,
Busy.
very busy. They were still, I believe Kenney was still making some appointments. Definitely made the right choice in Dr. Nina Ahmad, who oversees the Office of Public Engagement, which is where the Women's Commission is housed. And they began appointing commissioners in April. So as you can imagine, it's been less than a year since we've had a commission, and we're still in the organizing and forming stages, but I definitely think that we did hit the ground running.
The word must be out, because you all have this event on March 31st, the last day of Women's History Month, and I think that's a wonderful time to do your event. You're putting the icing on the cake, but I couldn't even get in because I, like some other women, we dragged our feet, and it's too late. It's not sold out because you didn't. It was free.
Yeah, it was free.
But it's
at capacity.
Done at capacity.
Over
Nobody
capacity.
else can squeeze in. But that says to me the word is out there. This Women's Commission exists and is stronger, and I think it's going to be better than ever.
Not only is the word out, people are excited and people are engaged. And every time I run into a woman, they're like, how can I get involved? What can I do? I'm ready to work. And that's what we need. We need people that are committed and ready to work. And we are just very overwhelmed by the response. Extremely excited about the summit on the 31st. I sent out the invitation the day I got it, and I know we actually were nervous as a commission, like, are we even going to fill the room? And in about
now there's no room.
In 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, I have people calling my phone every other day. You're the chair, how can I get on the list?
Oh God, okay.
I'm like, I sent everyone in my network the email, and you didn't register when I sent it. However, I don't want people to feel like they're missing much it's definitely going to be a great event. However, we're going to have more. So you didn't make this one, you didn't make the list for this one.
I can
That's
make
okay.
the next one. Okay.
And I'm sure the next one people are going to register on the first day and not wait.
Yes. But so just to tease or to whet the appetite of our audience today, what kinds of things will happen at this gathering on March the 31st at Community College of Philadelphia? And we won't tell you what building because it's no more room.
So guests can expect to hear some dynamic speakers. We're going to have a panel of women representing different industries. TD Bank, who is our presenting sponsor, will be giving a presentation on financial literacy. Women, we're #1 in a voting booth, but we're also #1 in spending money. And we want to make sure we're making smart decisions with our money, saving and investing. So that's definitely going to be a primary focus around this conference. We're also giving women an opportunity to have their own voice. So we're going to have breakout sessions where women can talk in small groups about some of the concerns and issues so that as a commission, we can take those back to a retreat where we're going to craft our agenda for the next year.
Now, are you going to do a state of women report for Philadelphia, or is that coming out of another body of women?
No, that is going to come out of our body. It's going to be the state of women and girls in Philadelphia. So we've collected stories over the past few months. As you know, Jovita was just appointed last June, and she spent her summer organizing. So from September to late December, we actually had a series of small public meetings where we could hear from women, and we were able to collect those stories and put them together. So those stories and those issues that we heard were most important is what's going to be presented at this conference. And then from there, we're going to be able to release a more detailed report.
Okay, sounds good to me. And I think I shared with you before that I was on the Governor's Commission for Women.
Yes.
I actually sat on that commission for 10 years, got reappointed, I think, 3 times in that 10 years. First by, 2 times by Governor Ed Rendell. But I enjoyed it very much. I learned a lot, and it was an opportunity for women across the state to come together. There was 25 of us commissioners, and I just found it to be very, very interesting. And I did have to press for some issues that I felt were very strong and important issues for women of color and for low-income women, no matter what color. And I was glad to have that opportunity to sit at the table and to represent on behalf of that body. To this day, I still feel like if I weren't at that table and a couple of other women of color at that table, some of the issues that are just heartbreaking issues for women might not have been thought of. And that's not to criticize any of the women who were commissioners at that time. It's like sometimes we need reminders about burning issues that maybe a woman who has a lot of money it might not even occur to her to think about as an issue. So, but we are so glad that the Philadelphia Commission existed. People can stay plugged in how?
People can stay plugged in. They can go to the city's website, www.phila.gov, and they can search for public engagement, and our contact information is listed there. I'm also personally posting a lot as well, so people can also follow me on social media at FD Harris.
Okay. And if people want to find you downtown, if they want to find the office for the Women's Commission, it's at City Hall?
Yes, go to City Hall and ask for the public engagement office. We're actually on the first floor.
All right.
So you don't need a pass to go upstairs. When you check in at security, say you're going to the Office of Public Engagement, and they'll direct you directly to our office.
All right. Well, I'm excited about you. I'm excited for you. I'm so glad that the mayor knew of you and had the good sense, thank you, Mr. Mayor, had the good sense to say, this young lady, she has the ability, the intelligence, the personality, and everything else it takes to be a leader, and he made you the chair. That is great.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
All right, so give us a phone number down there for the Mayor's Commission for Women.
I don't know the phone number offhand.
Okay, that's all right. Call 311. We know that number,
yes,
don't we?
311.
311 for Philadelphia. That will get you to the Mayor's Commission for Women. When you dial 311, one of those wonderful operators will come on the line and just tell them who it is that you're trying to get to. I thank you again for popping by, and I look forward to you coming again and bringing Jovita Hill with you next time. Talk more about what you all have going on.
Yes, and we have to invite you to one of our meetings so we can get some inside knowledge on the things that you learned on the Governor's Commission.
I would love to. Thank you. We
Thank
appreciate
you
for coming. This lady, keep an eye on her. She's a millennial and she's doing great things in the city of Philadelphia. We will continue with this edition of News You Can Use in a moment. We'll shine the spotlight on Veronica Norris. Stay with us.
Hers is in a minute too.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, action. You may think a guy would be producing this, but I can too.
Anyone can find a cure.
Women are being downgraded for their physical ability, but you can be just as strong.
"20% of women are engineers, but it doesn't stop there."
I'm a tech girl. I'm a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
I am a tech girl.
Hey, I'm Eddie Dunn, host of LaSalle's favorite TV game show, Q&A. Do you know that LaSalle TV is an entirely student-run organization? Probably, right? Do you also know that I happen to know all of the words to Eminem's Rap God? It's crazy, right? It's like 6 minutes. I'm not going to do it here, but just trust me that I know the words.
Well, hello everybody, and I am the host for this program called News You Can Use, and we're in the final segment, and we've had a busy show today, and I'm excited about that because the last couple of shows we had one guest for each of the shows, and we just zeroed in on them. But it's also fun to have a flavor and 2, 3 guests. I'm loving it. I hope that you are too. With me right now, Veronica Norris. Thank you for coming, my friend.
Hi, yes.
Glad to have you.
An honor.
Yes. Now, you're representing on behalf of Power Coalition.
Yes.
And tell me what this nonprofit organization does.
Power Coalition is progressive organizations achieving extraordinary results. As you can see, I have the t-shirt on today.
Nice.
And it is young and old people igniting ideals, doing things for the community. We have a blueprint called CPR, Community Through Responsibility, Personal Responsibility. You need to breathe into your community and bring it to life. You know, with the climate as it is, Thera, you know, we need grassroots organizations.
Sure.
We need Power Coalition to put that in perspective.
Sure. Our community is on life support.
Yes.
It is on life support. We need all the help that we can get, be it from our children at some of the public schools. I don't want to put a blanket over all public schools because I do believe that there are some great public schools in Philadelphia, even with the challenges with funding and all of that. There are some great principals who are able to command respect from their young people at schools and all that. But there's other schools you go into and you shake your head and say, who is in charge? Is there a principal here? Why are the kids just running amok and everybody's doing what they want to do? When I walk into a public school and I hear profanity coming out of children's mouths up and down the hallway, and I'm looking around, who's in charge? So we need life support there. We need life support for people who are looking for jobs, and they're saying that they can't find any. I don't know. There's jobs out here, but the question is, are you qualified and ready to take on that job? We need help in a lot of areas.
Absolutely.
Our political system.
Absolutely.
Boy, does it need life support. I mean, things are not going as we would want them to right now.
That's why we're
in Philadelphia. We've got too many elected officials who are getting in trouble with the law and having to disappear.
Yes. And let me just quickly give you a little history about the Power Coalition. The former DA, Lynn Abraham, started a program in 2002, Leadership, and it was a free program. And we were funded by, I guess, PNC, and about multicultural. For 2 years we went, and there were several classes. I was the 5th class. To speed forward, after we finished and we graduated, we said, what are we going to do with all these powerful people that graduated in leadership? I know you didn't have to go to school for leadership because you already had it. You was born and blessed with it.
I took some leadership courses. I did.
And that's what we need. People need. So with that said, Thera, we went on and they needed a coordinator. And I've been in existence. So we have an in-kind at Deliverance Church at 22nd and Lehigh. We meet there monthly, and also under the directorship of Ms. Celeste Palmer and also David Castro and Denise Kirkland. That makes it happen. A group of grassroots organizations come together.
Okay, but approximately how many people show up for a meeting on a Monday night, for example?
Well, about 30, 35 concerned, yes.
That's a good turnout.
Yes, and all different places from all over the city. Kensington, South Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, all over.
And that's what we need to be doing, talking to each other and trying to network as opposed to being so territorial, which I have found. With that Rebuild Philadelphia piece, for for example. Now, I went to a meeting on that recently, and everybody in the room was from North Philly. But then there were the neighborhoods of North Philly, and boy, oh boy, I mean, you've got the RAH Civic Association, you've got the Community Action Group, you've got the Tioga United. Everybody has their area.
Yes.
And just very territorial, let me say. Yeah.
And you know,
we have to learn to work together.
Exactly, and that's a collaboration. I'm all about empowerment, and I kind of, with my years and years, over 40 years work with community, I love promoting community and also young people at the same time to be leaders, because we're not going to be here forever. I'm 62, but I may act like I'm the new 30. Okay,
that's what I tell people.
We usually don't tell
our
ages.
Yeah, I'm getting close to 60. That's the new 30, folks. Yes.
And we are still movers and shakers, and you've been a mover and shaker for as long as I can remember, and I applaud you for all the work you've done.
Thank you, but you too, and you too, because I've been watching you work over the years. So many times I look up, and not only you, there's these two beautiful young ladies that hang out with you. I think you call them daughters. Yeah. And I watched your daughters grow up over the years, and I look, and they're so beautiful and mature, and they both look like fashion models.
Thank you,
and stuff. In fact, I half expected them to be here with you today. Okay, we're going to have
Nicole
to
and
get
Mercedes.
My executive producer was getting ready to kill me if I had to say, can you bring two more chairs up? You know? But they're doing well.
Yes, I have a leader out that's supporting us down. Hopefully in the next show that she will come as one of the grassroots organizations, and you'll have us come on. But Power Coalition meets once a month, and we all come together. We're movers and shakers. And again, this is a T-shirt I wear. Yeah, I wear it proudly with the people making, you know, ideals. How are we going to change things? Just don't complain. Do something about it. You know, movers and shakers. That's what I'm about.
I also like the idea, when we first started talking, you said this is older people along with younger people.
Yes.
And that's so much
dynamic.
We got to have the generations coming together to work as well. Not only neighborhoods and different nationalities, people. We got to work together to save our city.
Yes, yes. And we have to learn from those that have experienced things. My mother is 90, and God bless her mom. I know this is scandalous. It's a short show, but
say mom's name.
Yeah, Minnie Jane Colton, or
all right. Miss Minnie Jane Colton, 90 years young.
Yes, yes. And I've learned a lot from her. God
and
bless
my
her.
mother, Joanne Martin Barnes, 77 years young. She's going to hit me for saying her age. I don't care.
But that's about the power. You learn from that and you pass it on.
Yes, yes,
legacy,
yes. Power.
legacy, legacy,
power.
legacy.
Legacy and power, legacy and power. I think they go hand in hand. If people want to know more about Power Coalition and how to be in touch with you, how can they do it?
Progressive organizations achieving extraordinary results. And you can reach me at vnorris@i/lead.org. Again, vnorris@ilead.org. Okay. And I think we have a lead.org. And there's a telephone number if you care to. I want to make sure I get it right.
Right.
877-482-8092. Again, 877-482-8092, and I appreciate it.
We got it. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And in the waning seconds of the program, let me just remind you, we still have summer youth jobs. Where are the teens at? At the Allegheny West Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization in North Philadelphia. We're located inside the Panatti Recreation Center, 3101 North 22nd Street. That's 2 blocks from 22nd and Allegheny. We've got 280 summer youth jobs. We're looking for teenagers between the ages of 14 and 18. You must still be enrolled in high school. You got to have your working papers and the permission of your parents or whoever your guardians are to work for the summer. For 6 weeks, you get paid the minimum wage, but you get some experience and something you can put on a resume as you begin to build that resume. Come to 3101 North 22nd Street between the hours of 2:30 in the afternoon and 5:30 p.m. to get your name on the list for a summer job with the Allegheny West Foundation Work Ready program, which comes through the Philadelphia Youth Network. The Philadelphia Youth Network, they're the ones that actually pay the young folks. So employers, please welcome in our teens for the summer of 2017. Give them an opportunity to learn about the world of work. And everybody, keep checking out LaSalle TV, News You Can Use, and all the other great programs here at LaSalle TV. Have an attitude of gratitude, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.